high achievers and how what exactly leads to burnout and what you can do in order to help yourself to heal and to decrease the symptoms and reconnect with your daily functioning and what's important for you. And I'm registered psychotherapist qualifying in Ontario, and today we will continue this discussion. And we have mentioned about imposter syndrome, that many high achievers are having some imposter syndrome features, and according to research, more than 70% of CEOs, for instance, regularly experience these feelings that maybe they are inadequate, maybe they are not competent, and this is despite the fact, despite their success, evidence of success, and so these features are oftentimes often seen in CEOs and high achievers. And here are the signs of imposter syndrome. First of all, the people who experience imposter syndrome features, they focus not only on outcomes but on flawless processes. They also have perfectionist features, and any small errors, mistakes are considered as failure. And it might feel inadequate if they are unable to do something perfectly or on the first try, or if there is any gap in the knowledge, or there is something that they don't know. This can considerably increase anxiety, and this might lead to stress for them. And they feel compelled to know everything, and also asking for help can be considered as weakness, and they assume that they must do everything alone. And this constant fear of being discovered or knowing that they can do mistakes, this constant pressure on themselves of being perfect, this causes them stress. And after some time, this might lead to starting to move and do whatever they are doing, their businesses, work not from the passion or from love or from the values, but it can be driven, the actions can be driven by fear and anxiety, even if they don't notice it. So awareness, increasing awareness, noticing these patterns is the first step towards the change, and realizing that at that moment they are moving from the place of fear and anxiety and possible failures, and asking them or yourself, if you notice these features, how you would like to move instead, what you would like to notice, and set your attention, set your goals in which version of you would you like to see, what would you like you to motivate you, or at the times when you were feeling less stressed, less burnout, and more connected to yourself, what was different during those times, what was motivating you, what was driving you for action. And if it wasn't fear or anxiety that was helping you to take action, to work, what would you like it to be instead? If you already were, for instance, working and succeeding and maintaining your schedules, your routines, and being successful, achieving the goals that you want, but you were not experiencing signs of burnout, how it might look like, what you might be doing differently, how your days would look like, how your activities, your routines, your habits would change, how your interactions and your relationship to yourself would change, what would be different, and what difference can it make in other people's lives, in your lives, if you continued to take steps not from the place of fear or anxiety, but or insecurities, but from the place of love, kindness, or patience, or like whichever version of you would like to see, if that was the standpoint. So think about moments when you allowed yourself to make mistake, for instance, when you were able to ask for help, or stepped back without feeling exposed. What was different during those times? Was it really catastrophical? What exactly happened, for instance, when you were able to ask for help or for assistance, or when you made mistake, but you were able to see the mistakes differently, maybe as a sign of growth, or maybe as an information, instead of being so strict with yourself, criticizing yourself, and maybe it was helpful for you. What was different? And these exceptions are actually the proof that balance is possible, the change is possible, and that you already have everything that you need in order to create change. For instance, imagine a future where imposter syndrome doesn't control your actions anymore, and picture yourself performing at your best while feeling confident, secure, and as a human, and not being so strict with the rules to yourself. Ask yourself, how would I appreciate tasks if I could accept imperfection without shame? What would it feel like to ask for help without guilt or fear of judgment? And how would I manage my work, family, and social life without turning on panic-filled energy? And how would I celebrate my achievements and recognize my own contribution? And for instance, at times when you think that you are a failure, or you are worthless, you are useless, or you are constantly making mistakes, also asking yourself about instances of success. Is it really true, whatever your mind is telling you at that moment? Weren't there any exceptions when you succeeded, when you were creative, when you were successful, patient, confident? And reminding yourself about these past cases of success also can help to see how that not every thought that we have is a reality. Modern business pressure of doing more than with less also triggers a new workforce crisis into 2025, and it's oftentimes called as quiet cracking. So expectations of people, or colleagues, or society might also become a pressure for you to overwork, and maybe you are not noticing even while trying to meet these expectations. This might be one of the reasons and factors that leads to burnout. And quiet cracking, so-called quiet cracking, differs from quiet quitting. Quiet quitting is a conscious act of withdrawing from your work and involuntary emotional collapse while you are not doing your work. While in quiet cracking, maybe you continue to do your routines, your responsibilities, you continue to deliver projects, attend meetings, perform optimally. However, you feel depleted and your energies are very low inside. This can lead to behavioral changes and in quiet quitting, while in quiet cracking, this can be hidden and internal. And people generally who are with high functioning anxiety, high functioning depression, they continue to function and to do what they need to do. However, inside they might feel empty. And while in quiet quitting, motivation can be disengagement and constant disengagement. In quiet cracking, there is always seen involuntary emotional erosion, and if in quiet quitting there is a perceived low performance, and in quiet cracking there is sudden resignations, health crisis, full burnout. Like quiet cracking actually more risky because it's difficult to notice the signs. Therefore, understanding these signs, the signs of burnout, may be useful in that terms, that if you will be able to understand that you are slowly getting in the direction of burnout, maybe you can help yourself earlier without it becoming into crisis or full burnout. And the causes generally in quiet quitting are engagement loss. It can be in boundary settings, while in quiet cracking it's chronic stress, high responsibilities, and lack of recognition. And as we have already discussed in previous sessions, it might be related to any thoughts or experiences or habits that you had in the childhood that contributed to this wrong cognitions about yourself, or if the love or care was given conditionally, even just when you were succeeding, or if you were already overworking or studying, and this was as a normal way of living in your childhood. Maybe you have these automatic behavioral patterns, and noticing thoughts or patterns, and gaining more healthier perspectives or more useful perspectives that might help to achieve your desired outcome. In this case, maybe more balanced work-life balance, or succeeding without burnout. And you can adjust your behaviors and thoughts and activities, your lifestyle, in order to help yourself to achieve these goals. And greatest risk of quiet cracking is that organizations' most valuable assets, high performers, can suddenly become non-functional without warning. And for high performers, rest is often useless advice, and this mind codes relaxation as a threat. And instead of strategic approaches are needed to retrain the nervous system and break the unhealthy link between achievement and self-worth. So since in many high achievers, as we have already discussed, rest might be coded as something dangerous. They might think that if I'm not working, if I'm doing something else, if I'm resting, rest might cause uncomfortable feelings such as anxiety, as if they are wasting their time. And this might lead to burnout again. And therefore, considering your beliefs about yourself, your relationship with yourself, with your work, and considering also rest and relaxation from different perspectives. For instance, if someone values their work or success or relationships or people around them, imagine what difference would it make if they were able to relax or rest once they have achieved this sense of relaxation or rest. Maybe they will be able to better connect with other people or better contribute to other people's lives, or they could succeed faster, work better, or have better connections. And this, as a result, this might lead to success in their relationships, in their work, in their studies, or in their connection with themselves. So actually, instead of seeing rest as a waste of time, in this case, they can see the rest from different lights where it can be useful for them. And we've been discussing how we can work with burnout, with high functioning anxiety and imposter syndrome using social focused brief therapy dominant approach developed by Elliot Connie and Adam Freuer. And where if in other approaches we more examine the problems, what causes the problem, and it lasts longer, in solution focused brief therapy we are more focusing on what can be changed, what's already working, and what are already existing resources that the person have, qualities that the person have, believing that everyone possesses the resilience and resources, the power, the hope, everything they need within themselves, but maybe they have forgotten about those resources and features. And asking questions in this approach about the people's desired outcome, what they really want, instead of problems, and encouraging them to research and to find solutions for themselves, how they can achieve this state, is mainly what constitutes the base of this therapy. So if burnout were to decrease, what would be the first signs of you that burnout is decreasing, and what would you like to experience instead? Which feelings would be there? For instance, if you were not feeling symptoms of burnout, what would you like to feel instead? Is it energy? Is it creativity? Is it patience? Is it calmness? What would be there, and how would you know that this is happening? If burnout has already stopped controlling your actions, if you had more energy, what would let you know that you are being that version? How would your routines would look like? How would your day would look like? How would your habits would change? How would your relationship would change with the people? If, for instance, energy was present, what would be different about the way you are studying? Or if you were more focused instead of feeling signs of burnout, what would be different about the way you are approaching your work or your working time schedules? And what would you feel in the evening if you were not exhausted, frustrated, tired? What would be there instead, and how might your day look like for you to have these feelings, to feel this energy, to feel focus, what you might have done differently to achieve this outcome? And if you were having more energy, how your evenings would look like. Maybe you would be meeting with your friends, and how would that impact them, for instance? How these changes create change in your life? What would be different? So, uh, speaking about this, answering these questions and trying to describe whatever you want to see, you want to achieve in details, can help to also activate your brain functioning, because our brains are not good at distinguishing what's the reality or what's the thought. Therefore, also some automatic thoughts might cause an automatic reaction of anxiety, and you might be avoiding anxiety, and as a result you might have a life or days that are based on avoidance or trying to suppress uncomfortable feelings. Whereas in this therapy, we are doing the contrary. We are intentionally helping the people to think about what's possible to do differently, what's possible to change. And if most of our thoughts are negative, 70% according to research of people's thoughts are negative, and it in a way helps us to keep us safe, and in the ancient times it helped us to survive from possible threats. However, when most of the thoughts are negative, this might be negatively impacting their mood, or it might be holding them back and holding the person stuck in these negative thinking patterns. Whereas these questions actually help to break the cycle and to consider about possibilities, opportunities, about what can be done differently, about what you can do, what you can change to achieve the change you are trying to see in yourself. Self-help neuropsychological techniques for high performers might include, according to research, for instance, anytime when you notice the thoughts that are coming when you are trying to relax or rest, maybe your mind is telling you this is a waste of time, that you shouldn't be doing this. Maybe you have some uncomfortable feelings, anxiety. So just accepting those feelings, noticing those feelings, and sitting with them, and telling yourself, I'm training my nervous system that this is my most important task right now. So if you will be able to see it with discomfort at those moments, and gently shift your attention towards maybe benefits of resting, or thinking, considering about what influence it might have on you or on your relationships, about long-term benefits, then you are slowly teaching your brain that there is nothing scary or anxious or risky about resting. And by the time your brain will slowly learn that there is nothing to feel anxious about it, and it will be easier for you to take rest and to relax. And for imposter feelings, reviewing a folder of objective achievements, as we have already discussed, at times when you will have these thoughts that you are a failure, you are worthless, you are useless, asking yourself about times of achievement, or maybe writing them down and reminding yourself about your successes, what helped you to achieve success, what was there about you that helped you to achieve that desired outcome. For instance, if you are trying to succeed, to work, and to be successful, productive without burning out, what made it possible in the past? What was different about your daily routines, about your time management, about the way you were working, or maybe about environments, which habits, which situations, which people, what exactly contributed for it to happen, and which of your qualities you were using it. If you used somebody's wisdom, if somebody's advice has helped you, or if you learned something, what was there about you that helped you to learn that and to carry those strategies or wisdom or knowledge into your daily life and make use of it? How did you do that? And what was present there? What was present there just before this desired outcome took place? What exactly helped for it to take place? And after that, what impact it had on other fields of your life, on your work? For instance, if you were being productive, successful, and there were no burnout symptoms, what you were doing differently, how you were balancing your work and life. And therefore, go into the history of success or evidence of desired outcome might give you some ideas about what might work again and what might be different if you could re-engage with those activities or reuse those qualities that you were already using in your life. And for energy management, according to research, focusing on 80%, maybe at times when you feel depressed or very anxious or burnout, focusing on 80% of things that you need to do and maybe prioritizing what's the most important and what might bring you the highest level of change. For instance, maybe you would notice some things that are not really helping you or having negative impact on you, and training your energy, maybe your time, and adjusting time management, adjusting your routines, trying to do more whatever gives you the highest impact, the highest change, or carries you the fastest towards the desired outcome that you are trying to achieve. So focusing on 80% effort rather than 100% might also help you to give a sense of freedom, a sense of relief, and help you to reconnect with what you are trying to achieve. And also removing the mask of appearing strong, thinking about, for instance, relationships that help you to feel heard, understood, connected, relieved, and finding those safe environments and sharing your struggles, maybe your emotions with people whom you can trust, can also help to decrease levels of distress and help you to heal. Now, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions related with these topics, and if you want to learn more about these topics, you can leave your questions, your ideas in the comments. And I hope to see you in the next sessions. Take good care of yourself.